Because women always talk about, especially in relationships, girl, you need to know your worth. You need to leave. You need to get up out of there. Should men know their worth as well? Come on, Anton.
Now y'all want to join the movement. Okay, let's go.
I feel like I should go last only because I feel like I need to go put a Rolex on so that I can feel empowered when I have this conversation. You know what I'm saying? Man, here, come back to me. I'm about to go get a watch.
All right, B next. It's on you. Should men
Tell
know
you
their
about
worth?
folks is always extra. So, Buddy, I mean, I know you asked me the topic, but Buddy really gonna do that? Okay, all right. All right. Anyway, you know what? In all honesty, I don't know what men know they worth, man. I think it depends on the context. I think that we hold on to these labels, right? And one thing that's always sticks with a man being a provider, right? Outside of kind of this role of being the provider in a relationship, I don't know if men feel empowered to know that they bring other value to a relationship besides the role of provider. And Anton has talked about that too, with this whole kind of alpha male kind of debate, alpha beta man, where, you know, if you're a man, you're a provider. You know, even I'm sure even women say like, well, you know, yeah, you are the provider. That meaning you fix anything that's broken in the house. You're the primary driver. You pay the bills. Whatever I need, you buy it. But outside of the role of provider, I don't think that men have a true identity. And I think because of that lack of identity outside of provider, we don't know our worth, because I don't think we even look at the world like that. We're saying like, hey, I am a commodity. You know, of course we can say like, well, yeah, you know, I'm black. I have this job. I have this car, you know, but the thing is, all that is to set up the play to support the role of provider. So if you remove the role of provider from a man, I personally feel that men don't know their true worth. And the thing is, I won't even say that all men think this way. This is just where I'm coming from, because I think that I haven't truly sat down with myself to really think about my worth and my value outside of just being the role of provider.
I feel like men should know their worth. I think it's very important that they do.
Should or do, JR?
Do.
Should or do? Do you know your worth, or should we know our worth? Those are
I think that men should know their worth. I know my worth, but I think that men should know their worth. I know a lot of men that don't. They don't understand it. You know, they move based on how the woman moves, where it should be the other way around. I know my worth. I know what I bring to my table. I know the value that I could bring to any relationship that I'm in. So the reason why it's important is because if men don't know their worth, then how can a woman respect them?
Can I say one thing, Anton? I know you about to jump in. So just hold, just hold.
I already got the rollie and everything. So
of course you did.
I didn't know. I
don't even know why, bro.
I should have went and got the Submariner.
We don't even know if that's a real rollie. That could be a quartz.
Oh no, it's all on my YouTube channel. I paid $15,000
anyway,
for this one.
What does the rollie have to do with the conversation? So see, this shows.
I'm explaining.
We don't think alike.
I want you to go ahead and say what you want to say first. Listen, I'm ready. I'm ready for this one.
Go ahead, Nick. What you about to say?
The point being that the thing is, everything we do, we have to, you know, we think we got to have a certain amount of money to provide and all this other stuff. But really, we're always lowest on the totem pole. Think about it. What do we put first? I put my queen first, right? Or, hey, what do you put first? I put my kids first. Hell, in some cases, the damn dog or the cat may be at top of the food chain compared to you. I always look at it that men damn near the lowest on the totem pole. They damn near the low dog in the relationship, because you put your queen first.
Is it the lowest
you put your
on
kids
yours?
First, you put your mama
Is it the
first.
lowest on yours?
Well, you know what? You know what? For me, I do put my kids first, and I do put my woman first. I put my mama first. So the thing is, by the time you look at the pecking order, I'm all the way down here next to the dog.
Like I feel that you should put yourself first. You don't have to speak on it, but I think internally you should be putting yourself first, making sure that you're good.
Whatever you want to call it, internally, externally, the shit is the reality. Who gets priority? If somebody needs something, guess what? That's my
You're
turn
supposed to
up in
always
order to
make sure you
provide.
take care of self first. Always. Tawana, let's take a break from the men real quick.
Okay, yeah, because y'all.
Yeah, I want to hear that woman's perspective. Women often hear that they need to know their value, that they know their value, know your worth. Should men know their worth, their value?
Absolutely. Men do not even think about what they bring to the table and how valuable they are to life, relationships, this whole dynamic. No, men don't even think about that. I
Tell
think,
How
us
does that
how
make you feel? How does
valuable.
that make
Hey,
you
tell us
feel?
how valuable we are, Tawana. I
you know,
love this.
I see men as providers. I see men as, just honest. They need to be honest. They need to be transparent. Men are very like straightforward, right? Black and white. This is how I feel. Just fruitful men. I love a lot of things about men, but men are not honest with themselves about who they are. So it'll be a man who is like in a committed relationship, but like he really is a hoe, like, right? He really just wants to be with like men, many different women. Like, it's so many men out here that just lie to themselves so much. And
Bro, you started off so good, and now this is going so dark.
Let me keep going because I just want you to hear the whole entire perspective. It's just kind of like when men really value who they are, they make decisions in life that represent that creates legacies, that creates, I don't know, a lot of different positivity. Like it just doesn't, it's not baby mamas. It's not, poverty. It's not recreating cycles. Like when men know their worth, life is just in so much better order. It's just much more difficult when you have to convince a man who he is and what he brings to the table and how important he is to life and to this whole entire dynamic. I'm just saying. So yeah, I agree with y'all. Y'all need to know y'all worth.
Oh man.
When y'all
Hey, listen, Tawana.
Answer. Somebody said something on there, Ken. I missed it. What did they ask?
Yeah,
Tawana?
I said that I was gonna highlight this. Somebody from the chat. Let's see. Let me go back up. It says Icy Natasha specifically said, other than providers, what do you see men as, Tawana? Did you hear me?
I think I listed the other things that I saw men as. But
no, all those was negative.
What she said?
No, okay. All the other stuff you listed was the negative stuff. She said, other than
you guys are honest and transparent, direct, which I thought that was a great quality for men, because sometimes men, sometimes women can be a little shady, and a little different. Like, I felt like men have, great qualities, the work ethic. And, I think that a lot of other things that we define success on even correlates with women. Like, we women, we could be good providers too. I feel like some of the things that we define success for, like education and all these other qualities that we bring to the table. But men, you guys bring order to families. That's how I see. You guys bring order to families. You guys bring that balance in the dynamic. And, that's the most important part to me.
Hey, Tawana, I want to ask you, can you tell me some characteristics of a man that doesn't know their worth?
To me, it's men who sleep with hoes. That's a man who don't know his worth.
Really?
Yeah.
How? Can you explain how's that?
Because to me, a man who does that don't know his value and don't know that what his action and what he's doing, how that affects the woman, how it affects, his life, his energy, the way he's going to, behave in other relationships. Like, that man is not self-aware. So he's just really out here, fulfilling whatever, I guess, the porn industry, whatever's highlighted, whatever's glamorized, whatever's sexualized about women, he's fulfilling that unconsciously, not even thinking about his position in life and who he is and what he brings as a man to society. So I think that a man like that shows a lot of, self, less respect for himself. So that's a man to me that really is a clear sign that he just like has no value in himself. He just doesn't really have a idea about the type of women he even want to be dealing with. So that's probably numero uno. But men who are violent, men who, it's a lot of different things. I don't even know how to put it in perspective. I think that anytime you show signs that you have no respect for other human beings, human life, you don't care for your children, you don't care for the types of responsibilities you create in the world, yeah, that's a sign to me of a person that just has no respect, no value in himself. Yep. It's a lot of other things, but those are the things that's prominent.
Anton, should men know their worth?
Yo, I'm gonna put the cap on this, and I'm just gonna be real, because the thing about it is that because men have been conditioned to believe that everybody else comes before him, what has happened is men have become weak, and then that's where you see a clear definition of a beta male and an alpha male, because the main difference between a beta male and an alpha male is that an alpha male knows the value of who he is and what he brings to the table, and as a result, because they have that at the forefront of their minds, they're not operating from the narrative of, oh, how can I make her happy, or how can I get her, or what can I do? The only way in which they operate from the perspective of, yo, I'm awesome. Let me continue to be the best version of me. Let me work on me. Let me work out. Let me continue to get my bag up. Let me get my physical health right. They're focused on becoming the best version of themselves instead of focusing on what they feel like society or women or anybody else wants from them. They're putting themselves first. And I think that we're starting to see a shift in the narrative in society. Very high value men, alpha men that are very high value are starting to, or not even starting to, these men are starting to be highlighted. And so what you're starting to see is men saying, I don't have to just deal with that. Or, yo, I can have anybody I want. And that's the kind of shift in personality. They don't say it outwardly, but the whole thing is, I can have anybody I want. I can do whatever I want. And it's not that I'm going to take advantage of that, but what it means is that I know my worth. I know I'm awesome. I know what I bring to the table. I know that any girl that gets with me, she gonna be greater as a result of being with me versus the opposite way around. I don't need you to bring this thing that we've deemed in society is great. I don't need your 50% contribution. I just want you to come to the table with certain qualities that we know that only women can come with, and then I'm gonna upgrade you. And that's the benefit and the beauty that you get from being with me. And that's how alpha high value men work. They so busy focusing on how great they can be without saying it outwardly that you instantly see it. You can see it in every single dude that walk down the street. It ain't even a question. You can separate them very easily within the first 5 seconds of them opening their mouth. A chick will submit herself to a guy that she know is about his business and taking care of things and on top of things and are really living the things that she aspire to be with. She will even evolve in who she is to meet his expectations, whether she needs to get, lose weight, whether she needs to be a little bit more feminine. Like, it's a very clear distinction between alpha. And the thing about history is that history has not always had these mega beta males that's been in society. Like, before technology, before things became a lot easier, what you've seen was a lot of men jockeying to be alpha males, not a clear separation. It was a clear separation in who was the strongest and who was the best provider, but it hasn't always been this separate between guys that are weak and guys that really truly know their value and their worth. It's a huge difference, bro. It's a difference.
Hey, Anton, I want to ask you this. So you don't have to have money in order to know your worth.
You have to have money. You don't have to have a lot of money. So you have to be the biggest thing for men is that our biggest asset, especially in the eyes of other people, is how well we can provide. And that doesn't have to be based off of whether we have a whole lot of money, but it has to be based off of our potential. You know what I'm saying? There's some men that's already there and they're continuing to get further, but then there's men that are transitioning, that got a vision, a dream, they working towards, they grinding. And a woman that, you know, a high value woman will ride with that dude because she bought into the vision. She can see where he's going. She see he's working towards that. He's grinding. Like, so you don't have to necessarily have a lot of money, but you really just have to have the work ethic and the mindset that shows, yo, I'm going in this direction. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not very black and white as it relates to that, because potential could be worth more than what the current value of that guy is.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, if you're the best version of yourself, you have choices. I mean, that's what it is. And if you are the best version of yourself, regardless of how anybody else view you, you already know that when you are with someone else, that they're going to see the value in you because you know what you bring to the table. And so therefore, it doesn't necessarily mean monetarily, because it could be a lot of different, like he said, it could be so much more that you got, like Michelle Obama and Barack, right? She was making way more money than him, but she saw the potential because he was an intern, but she saw who he was going to become in the future. Like, she saw his potential. And so she saw what his value was, regardless of how much money he made. And she didn't need his money at the time, right? But she already knew that he was in a position where he was going to be somebody great, and that he was going to match her potential.
But more importantly, he elevated her long term. You know what I'm saying? So she had that foresight to be able to see that, oh man, he ain't got the whole bag right now, but he is a bag in waiting. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm with somebody who I think is gonna elevate me. Like, I don't want to be with somebody who's gonna keep me stagnant and keep me in the same position that I've been in for the last several years. Like, I want to be with somebody that's gonna make me want to be better and want to, you know, improve myself. So that's what you should do. That's how men should look at women too. Like, I want to be with a woman who's going to uplift me and make me better, and make me a better man, move me to my full potential. And if men are not looking at it in that way, and you messing with
we can't look at it that way.
You can't, because
but here's the thing.
What Michelle brought to the table, and you guys got to see the potential. You have power to see the potential in what a woman brings to you.
I don't think so.
Yes, you do.
Listen, honestly, I think that Barack knew where he was going anyway. I think that he spotted that she could play that role in his life going forward, but I don't think that he picked her. And this is all opinion, right? But I don't think that he picked her based off of the fact that he felt like she was going to elevate him. I felt like he felt like he was going to do his thing. Okay. All right.
How are you telling these men not to pick responsibly based on these type of women that they?
I'm not telling them not to pick
responsibly. I don't think that they discovered that in the beginning. I don't think they looking for that. I think a man should try to position himself, and it's kind of like a bonus. You know, if she does, I mean, he might discover if she might be holding him down, but I don't think he should be looking to see if she could elevate him. He should be looking to elevate himself.
Listen, Barack Obama, in my personal humble opinion, and I could be wrong, he won that presidency on his own, bro. That first one, nobody even knew who Michelle Obama was until after he had already became and established himself as president. Okay. That's just the truth.
Listen, I was responding to the chat, so I didn't get a chance to respond to JR. You changing the narrative of what I'm saying.
You changing the narrative because you're saying.
No, JR and you guys are changing the narrative of what I'm saying. Because I never said
you inserted
somebody because of what they are going. Like, I didn't say that.
You said that men should be paying attention to that.
Listen.
What I said was, if you're already the best version of yourself, right? You're the best
he wasn't.
version of yourself. You have choices in life. You don't have to date any old body. And I think when people are not the best version of themselves, they settle for people who are not who they want to be.
You're wrong, Tawana, and I'm gonna tell you why. because what I'm telling men is to not focus on picking women in general, to focus 100% of your energy on becoming the best version of you.
And that when do that too.
And when that woman comes along and she fits into what it is that you're trying to do, then choose her. However, you should not, as a man, be dependent on what women are going to think or what the type of woman is that you think you can find in order to become this great version of yourself. Okay, that's where men get mistaken.
She's not going to be attracted to that. She's not going to want no man.
I'm saying similar things that you should be the best version of yourself regardless. But what you shouldn't do is choose someone who is not going to match that best version of you. And that's what people fail at.
But when you know your worth as a man, that don't even become a conversation because you off bum chicks anyway. That's my whole point.
That's what I'm saying.
They don't even exist in your sphere when you a G. When you really get into it and you live in it and you becoming this great high value dude, bum chicks don't even exist in your sphere. So that's not even a conversation that high value men have.
But some high value men go right on back down.
I don't know, but think about it, bro. We all got different value systems. Right. You know what I mean? So the thing is
I couldn't wait for B-Nick to jump back in.
It's not cookie cutter. Because I mean, the thing is, bro, like me and you differ on this. To me, it's a job. And the thing is, a job isn't necessarily always bad. I enjoy doing my job. Same way with my place of employment, same thing in my relationship. It's a job. I enjoy doing my job to the best of my ability. And the thing is, as a man, I feel like our primary role of our job is to provide. So the thing is, like you said, it's not the amount of money, really providing is broad. I'm not talking about financial, but the thing is, that's the job. So that's the part where, just to be clear, outside of that role of provider, I personally feel like, I don't know, like it's very broad when you think about the role of provider. The provider could be mental support. It could be physical support. It could be financial support. It could be whatever type of support. So the thing is, I find value in doing my job as a contributor to the relationship and a contributor to my employer, contributor to friends, family, whatever the case of the need. But the thing is, outside of that, I really don't know if men, because you think about it, if anyone noticed the theme that all of us have kind of mentioned, we called this the role of provider, or at least paraphrasing that as another term. But outside of that, it's like, well, what else do men provide? I feel like that's something we hold on to as a sense of pride. And Anton, you define that as far as the difference between being the alpha and the beta based on the role of you being the strong provider versus not being a provider. So I think that men outside of the role of provider, I don't know, we identify with anything else that we find value in, that we feel that like, oh, that makes me the the best version of myself as a man. Because the thing is, we have a strong alliance with the role of provider. If we're not viewed as a provider, then what other values do we have then?
Which you can't relate, B-Nix, is because you are a provider. You are the guy that I kind of described and identified. And of course, we come in all different versions, whatever like that and wherever. But the whole thing is, I don't feel like you can relate to that guy that you described that's not a provider, because you've always been that. You know what I'm saying?
It depends on how you define provide. Like knowing you, are you talking about financially? Or
no, and everything, whatever. Like, you're a great father. You know what I'm saying? You are very much involved in the success of the people that depend on you. That's a provider. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I was saying we come in all different forms and versions. However, you can't relate or speak on behalf of a dude that's whack because you don't know that. That ain't never been a role that you've played for the people that's dependent on you in your life.
Okay. I have no rebuttal.
I knew I was going to get you one day, bro. I knew I was going to get you.
And a woman needs to
he gave you a compliment.
And a woman needs to respect that 100%. A man who values that and brings that to the table and feels like, you know what, if I'm doing this for you, this is, like an accomplishment for me. Like, a lot of people, we miss that. Well, a lot of women, we miss that. We miss, you know, giving that man that respect for, you know, feeling like this is what I'm going to do and this is what I am doing. I think that, you know, sometimes we can be a little selfish in thinking about, okay, what else we want, right? Like, he don't talk enough, he don't do this, he don't do that. But like, men value that. That's such a high, you know, thing on their list. It's like, we need to give them that respect, you know, and like understand that. So yeah, I agree with you. I love when Big Nick.
What's your narrative, JR? Because I know you have a perspective also, and this will be the perfect place for you to express it.
Well, like I said in the beginning, I feel that men should value themselves. I think it's very important. I think that the woman would look up to the man, that she will easily be able to submit to that man if he knows his worth. I mean, nobody wants a weak man. Nobody wants a man that doesn't know their worth. So, and if he's no good, he can't be good to her. He can't hold down the house if he don't understand what he brings to his table.
So
can I say one thing? Can I say one thing?
Go
What
ahead.
you said, JR, that I liked it, but I hated it. Can we just say, like, can somebody that matches me, like, I hate the term submit. Submit, and this where me and Anton always differ about the dating up, dating down topic, but I feel like submit shows a hierarchy within like whatever the relationship is. Can we just say match
no,
more,
there is a hierarchy.
more equal?
Well, like I feel
There
as
is a
though
hierarchy.
Here you go. Here you go.
you don't even have to speak on it. You don't have to speak on it. It just happens. You don't have to speak on it. It happens all the time.
I don't want anyone to submit to me. I want somebody to match me where I'm at. Anton, I know where you're going with this, but like, it's not a hierarchy. And I know you're gonna say like, you just blind to it, and you just don't realize it is. But I don't want no hierarchy.
Okay, so let me ask you a quick question because I have a very clear answer.
You may not want it, but it's happening.
No, it's not. It's
wait.
It's matched.
It's happening.
Wait. Do you consider yourself the head of your household?
There's no head. We the head.
Oh man,
Nice.
We the head.
I love that, B Nick.
Come on, JR. What is happening?
You love that.
What that dynamic looks like, because I think that people don't understand that it's not always that traditional relationship that survives. It's those unconventional. Can you explain what a dynamic looks like when it's two people who just kind of both have, you know, equal? I'm talking to B Nick's, JR. Because look.
Well, I just want to say this.
B Nick's,
regardless of the political correct answer that B Nick says, I know that he's the head of the household.
It's not about
no matter how
who cares?
Thank you, JR.
Like, why is that even a thing?
Thank you.
Right. So, you know, that's your thing, is that like you don't want to put emphasis on what's actually happening, but it's happening. You are the head of the household.
But see, then it goes back to according to what standard? What standard makes the head?
We don't have to say no standard.
Talking about
the only
financial
argument that I'm making is that you are the head. And I want you to accept that role.
But wait a minute.
I won't. It's not. It's not a head.
You know, somebody in the comments, and I do want to ask another question from somebody in the comments, but somebody in the comments said, and it's a girl, and she said her definition of submit is to rest easy. It's just to rest easy. And so my question then becomes, when did submission or submitting become a problem? Why is that such a problem word for women? I don't understand that. And I'm looking at you, Tawana, because you're the girl on the panel. When did the word submit become such an issue?
When did it become such an issue with a man?
Because why is it a negative word?
Don't like it either.
I think that some women associate submitting with control. And I don't necessarily agree with them. I just understand why some women feel like if I'm submitting, that means that I'm going blindly into a situation and allowing someone to, you know, make decisions about my life and I have no control over it. And I think that's the problem with submit for a lot of women. They don't trust the partner.
But that's the whole idea, is that
they don't trust the partners that
wait.
Decisions. You know what I'm saying?
The whole idea behind submitting is that you have a choice and control on whether or not you want to give over into this person.
Yeah, a lot of
women. But it's still your choice. It's not like it's something that you're being forced into. You see what I'm saying? It's a difference.
And submission doesn't have to be a bad thing. You don't have to
It
be a
don't,
bad
because
thing.
if you're aligned,
some women don't, and even in every dynamic work. The problem
and the ones that don't,
the
we
problem
know what that look like.
You, JR, and Anton, is that you guys only think that it's one way to skin a cat. Like, there is multiple ways to have a successful, loving relationship. And B Nix just explained to you that having equal parties.
But B Nix is explaining according to JR.
I feel as though that B Nix is who he is, and that
I believe he's telling us
his woman follows him. Because
it's not about. I don't want nobody. See, I don't want nobody to follow me either. I don't need nobody to submit to me. I don't need nobody to follow me. We talk
it's
about.
It's not a bad thing. Like it's
really about
being
able to match.
It's just that she respects
relationship.
She respects who you are as a man. Like, she respects how you hold down a household. So she has no problem. So she has no problem bending, to having need be, playing her role. There's nothing wrong with
it. Somebody in the comments, Tanita, said that submission became a problem for women when they chose the wrong man to submit to. And I 100% agree with what she's saying. Is that is not a problem for the women as women winning. It's not a problem for it. And
I just don't want nobody to submit. To me, like, submitting is like deferring, to give in, to almost like just allow. I don't want to be in a relationship with somebody that's allowing me to do. I want somebody that's able to still contribute, to collaborate, to engage. So really,
but that doesn't mean that you're not contributing and engaging.
Really being active in the relationship. When I think of the word submit, I don't need nobody to defer. Because when I think of submit, I think about a very traditional patriarchal relationship where the woman's place is in the kitchen, the clean, the wash my laundry, do the dishes, you stay home. And I, as the head of the household, I go make the money. I don't need nobody like that.
I promise you, B Nix is going to run for president one day, and I am going to vote for him because I know, just looking at and having conversations with him over all this time, that he is the type of guy that is completely different from the person that he's projecting and explaining to you guys. So I want you guys to vote for him also.
Wow.
I want you people to vote for him also in the chat. B Nix for president. And I got your back, bro. I got your back.
But I've known B Nix longer than you, and he's not. You
not what?
Really, he's not that way. You making judgments based on like 2 months of knowing him.
That's because guys can see certain things in other guys. You looking at it from a woman's eye, a woman's perspective.
At the end of the day, that's my only thing. Like, JR,
you're wrong, like, completely.
JR, I'm not trying to take this another direction, but with your closing remarks about the submitting thing, and the thing is, I'm a man, but I got an issue with the submit thing. I want somebody
you just don't like the terminology of it. I understand. I get it.
Yep.
I need a partner. I don't need somebody to defer.
What he's describing is not
a sidekick.
Hey, we know what it is.
He's not describing a woman who submits. That's the difference. What you're saying is, and actually, if we want to quote the Bible says that the man should submit to the woman and the woman should submit to the man.
That's not what it says, but I'll let you. I'm gonna give you a pass on that. That's not what it says.
Let's do the new king.
Go ahead and rap then, JR. You made your closing.
No, wait. I'm not just gonna let that rock. It says women submit to your. Wait, stop.
English version.
Stop. It says women submit to your husbands, men cleave to your wives, and leave your parents.
That's the King James version.
Oh my God. And so my point still becomes, it is what it is. The point is that women, including Tawana, see the value in certain men, and she would not even allow men that don't know their worth and their value to even be in her presence. Yeah. So her saying that
that's what you said, Tawana. That's the summation.
Let me just preface this.
Ain't nothing else for me to say.
Let me preface this. My man, he makes all the decisions in this house, and he do all of that. Okay, and he controls all my finances. So I'm not gonna present as if I have control over that. I have to go to him and be like, "Hey, babe, do you think this is okay for me to pay for this?" And like, I do that, and I have
JR. That's a summary.
Smarter in those ways than I am. But guess what? Like when it comes to certain things, he comes to ask me, like, babe, like let's, decorations or something like that, something that I'm good at. He comes to ask me about, right? So like we use each other's strengths. So I completely agree with what B Nix is saying. Like,
and me, you agreeing with what I'm saying too.
I agree with you too.
All right, JR, where we at?
We can wrap it up. I'm happy with it. We can roll.
Yeah. Okay, well, there it is. Men, know your worth. Know your worth. End of the day.